Right now, if something unexpected happened to you, your family would have no legal authority to make decisions, access your accounts, or take care of the things that matter most. Not your spouse, not your parents, not anyone. They'd have to hire a lawyer, go to court, and wait months for a judge to give them permission to do what you would have wanted them to do all along. If you're a parent with young kids, that includes who raises your children. If you're retired, that includes who manages your finances and manages your medical care. And in Texas, that process costs families anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000. I'm Jason English, and I started over 25 years ago helping Texas families make sure that never happens to them. And if you've been putting this off, stay with me for the next few minutes because we'll save your family thousands of dollars and months of stress. Maybe you've been telling yourself you'll get to it next year. Maybe you did a basic will 10 or 15 years ago and figured that was enough. Maybe you went the DIY route with LegalZoom or something else, or you found some template online. And now you're sitting there with a false sense of security because you have no idea whether those documents would actually hold up in a Texas probate court. Or maybe you've done nothing at all. No will, no trust, no power of attorney, no guardian name for your kids. And every time something happens, it reminds you maybe a friend's health scare, a story about a family torn apart, a new grandchild. You get that heavy feeling. You know you should have handled this already. And the worst part is that it's not that you don't care, it's that this stuff forces you to think about things you'd rather avoid. So you keep pushing it down the road, hoping nothing happens before you get around to it. And honestly, I don't blame you, because to do this on your own, you'd have to understand Texas community property law, beneficiary designation rules, the difference between will-based and trust-based estate planning. You'd also need to handle incapacity documents, guardianship nominations, and know how probate works in Travis or Williamson County, all while managing your own career, your family, and everything else that life throws at you. That's not realistic, and that's why most people stay stuck. Here's what makes our approach completely different. We don't sell you a stack of documents and send you on your way. We design a plan around your goals, your family dynamics, your assets, and the risks that are unique to your situation. That means we figure out exactly what outcome you want for the people you love, then we build a legal structure to make it happen. If a will-based plan is the right fit, we put that together with powers of attorney, an advance directive, guardianship nominations. This means that your family has clear authority and clear instructions without guessing. And if your situation called for a trust-based estate plan, then we build a revocable living trust as a centerpiece so your family avoids probate entirely. This means no court involvement, no public filings, and no months of delay when your family needs answers the most. And here's something else that matters. I didn't learn estate planning from a textbook. I grew up in my father's law firm drafting estate plans and probating wills from the day that I got my license over 25 years ago. I also spent years as a prosecutor in court because my father told me that to truly serve clients, I needed to understand what happens when plans fail and obtain that necessary trial experience in a courtroom so that I would know how to represent families when they need the help. So I don't just draft documents, I plan with the end in mind. So if this is something you've been putting off and you're ready to finally get it handled, let's get a 15-minute phone call scheduled. And if you're earlier on in the process and still trying to learn more, then you can sign up to attend our free webinar if you're not ready to have that first call with us. Here's what most people don't realize. The biggest cost of not having a plan isn't the money. It's what happens to your family emotionally. When there's no clear plan, even families that get along start second-guessing everything. Who's supposed to get what? Who should be making decisions? What would mom or dad have wanted? That uncertainty, it turns into tension. And tension turns into conflict that can damage relationships permanently. I've seen it happen to good families over and over again. And here's the thing people miss. Estate planning, it isn't really about death. It's about making sure that the people you trust have legal authority to act when it matters most, without having to ask a court for permission. That's what a real plan does. It replaces confusion with clarity and gives your family a path forward instead of a path to a fight. Now you may be thinking, this sounds expensive. I understand that, but let's look at the math. Most estate plans, you're probably going to start around $4,000 to $5,000. But if you do nothing, your family will almost certainly pay more than that in probate costs, plus legal fees during the hardest time of their life. So the question isn't really whether you can afford to plan, it's whether your family can afford for you not to. Now you may also be thinking, we'll get around to it eventually. But here's the part that people don't consider. The estate planning, it isn't just about what happens when you die, it's about what happens if you become incapacitated, talking about a stroke, a car accident, or a sudden diagnosis. Without a power of attorney in place, your family has to go to court just to make decisions on your behalf. That process is more expensive than probate, and it happens during a medical crisis when every minute counts. Nobody plans for that, and that's exactly the point. So here's who this is for. If you're a retiree in the Austin area, and you want to make sure that your spouse and children aren't left dealing with courts and conflict, this is for you. If you're a parent with young kids and you haven't named a legal guardian or set up protections, this is for you. And if you had a plan done years ago that no longer reflects your life, this is for you. How do you get started? Schedule that free 15-minute phone calls with us. It's that simple. Every day without a plan, your family's unprotected. You've been meaning to do this. Now's the time to actually get it done.